The Voyage. We set sail under our captain, Captain Smollett. The coxswain, Israel Hands, was an able man, and Long John Silver was a fine cook. He carried his crutch on a cord round his neck, so that both his hands were free. He propped himself against the side, and got on with his cooking like someone safe ashore. We all worked well and willingly, and I often heard the crew singing as they toiled. The song was one I'd heard from old Billy Bones. 15 men on the dead man's chest, yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of rum. I passed many spare moments in Silver's shining galley. His parrot, Captain Flint, named after the famous pirate, swung in its cage and screeched, "Pieces of 8, pieces of 8, pieces of 8, all day long. Silver was interesting company, full of gripping yarns of his other voyages and adventures. He was well liked by all, and the men looked up to him as a leader. We kept a barrel of apples on deck for the men to help themselves. One evening I went to the barrel and, finding it nearly empty, climbed inside to get an apple from the bottom. There I sat, quietly rocked by the sea. Someone sat down on the deck, leaned against the barrel and started to speak. The words I overheard made my blood run cold. Israel Hands and Silver were planning to take over the ship once we had found the treasure. They would kill the captain and any of us who would not fall in with them. I could not believe my ears. Suddenly, there was a shout of, "Land ho!" The men all ran to catch the first sight of land. I took the chance to jump out of the barrel and run to the safety of my friends. Captain Smollett was telling the crew about the island. Long John Silver said that he'd been there before, when his ship had put in for water. I looked at his smiling face and shuddered. I was now certain that Silver was more than a cheerful ship's cook. He was also a bloodthirsty pirate. As soon as I could slip away, I told the captain and my friends, the squire and the doctor, what I had heard. They decided we were safe until the treasure was found. There were 19 pirates, but only 7 of us. When we were ready, we would surprise them and hope to win by catching them unprepared. We now lay off Treasure Island. It looked a gloomy, forbidding place. The lower parts were wooded with rocky peaks jutting above the trees. Even in the sunshine, with birds soaring above, I hated the thought of it. We were anchored in an inlet where trees came down to the water. The air was hot and still, and the men were restless and grumbling. Captain Smollett gave leave for the men to go ashore, which raised their spirits. I believe the silly fellows thought they would break their shins on treasure as soon as they landed. Long John Silver was in charge of the 2 boats taking 13 men ashore. I knew I should not be needed on board, and decided to go ashore too.